bobsledging down the stairs. You can Google image what bobsledge is, okay? Alfie wasn't going to go down without a struggle. He leaped onto the teacher's desk at the front of the class, landing beside a tray with some magnets on it. Next to it was another box full of ball bearings. In that moment, a brave plan flickered across the boy's mind. So now Alfie had a brave plan, okay? What's his plan? First, he hurled the box to the floor, scattering the ball bearings. So he scattered all the ball bearings on the floor. Next, he grabbed the tray and held it to his chest. Last, he launched forward onto the ball bearings and shot across the classroom floor. Okay, let's look at it over here. So this is what his plan is, to go ice skating. It was as if he were a one-man bobsledge team. So go and Google what bobsledge is. Alfie whizzed under the legs of Snoot. So he went under the legs of Snoot and shot straight out of the classroom door. The ball bearings spilled down the corridor, and Alfie, still lying on the tray, found himself sliding at speed along it. Looking back, he saw Snoot and his pupils with ball bearings trapped under their feet, trying desperately to remain upright. So they are trying to balance themselves and remain standing upright. As Snoot was rolling over, he called out, "Roll with the impro!" The tray careered, that means moved fast and uncontrollably past classroom before it reached the top of the huge central staircase. Oh no, thought Alfie as he closed his eyes. The tray clunk, clunk, clunked down the stairs, each step shaking his bones. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Winnie's moped was gaining on him. That means Winnie's moped was reaching Alfie. With Miss Hare, the science teacher, Snoot, and their collective classes in pursuit, in chase. So they're all chasing after Alfie. Just as the tray had reached a speed where it was impossible for Alfie to stop it, he spotted a figure at the bottom of the stairs. So he spotted someone at the bottom of the stairs. Who was it? It was the headmaster, Mr. Gray, no doubt retreating to the safety of his office. So Mr. Gray is moving back. He's retreating to his office. With every cluck, 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 the tray was gaining momentum. It was getting faster and faster at an alarming rate. Okay, it was getting so fast. As Alfie accelerated down the stairs, he quickly realized he was on a collision course with the headmaster. So he realized that he was going to collide, going to bang into the headmaster. Nothing could stop the inevitable happening. So nothing could stop this from happening, okay? This unavoidable happening. Truck! The tray whacked into Mr. Gray's ankles. The headmaster was hurled into the air. So headmaster was flung into the air, okay? In the smash, Alfie came clean off the tray and ended up in a crumpled heap at the bottom of the stairs. Sorry, sir, I would love to stay around for you to give me a detention. That means, not detention. Detention, in the American schools is like a punishment like this. For those who are naughty, they have to stay back after school for detention. So Alfie says, sorry, I would love to stay around for you to give me a detention, say Alfie, as he hobbled up and helped Mr. Gray to his feet. But I really have to go. With that, the boy burst out of the door that led outside into the playground. Just as the headmaster was about to call after him, wallop! The poor man was thrown into the air by a large lady coming down the staircase at top speed on a moped. That's Winnie, right? Mr. Gray landed with a thump on his bony bottom. See, he's very skinny, bony bottom. As he sat there, the headmaster could have been forgiven for thinking his ordeal was over. So the headmaster sat there and thought that maybe his ordeal, that means horrible experience, is over. But he was wrong, very wrong. No sooner had he put himself back up than he landed again with a tuck. Who is it next? As he became the victim of a stampede. Victim, that means a person who is harmed, a person who's injured of a stampede. Go and Google image what stampede is. Stampede is like a lot of people coming and rushing to you, okay? Once again, Mr. Gray was trembled underfoot, so everybody stepped on him again. this time by a number of his own teaching staff and a growing that means a large group of pupils who were giving chase. Because of all the commotion, they were streaming out of the classrooms. There was a boy on the loose. That means Alfie was on the loose. Alfie's running off, and he had to be stopped. They chased Alfie out into the playground. Next, the dinner ladies joined in. Okay, they trundled, that means move heavily and slowly out of the dining hall as fast as their chubby little legs, that means their fat little legs, could carry them. Angrily brandishing, that means waving in anger, waving their ladles in anger. Okay, the caretaker stopped racking leaves in a car park and became part of the mob, waving his rack wildly in the air. This is the rack, this thing here. Okay, imaginative use of a prop, commented Snoot. Prop, that means things that you use to in a drama, so like this. So he said, wow, very imaginative, you can use a rack in the drama. So Mr. Snout still thinking this whole thing's a drama. Even the ancient secretary, ancient that means very old secretary, Miss H, I think it's this one, scuttled out on her Zimber frame. This is a Zimber frame. I'll get him, she cried, hobbling a long way behind the throng, traveling slower than the speed of a trickle. You go and Google what trickle is. It's a very slow moving liquid. Okay, leading the rabble, that means rabble is a mob or a disorderly crowd, a messy crowd, was Winnie. Leading the rabble was Winnie, so she was the leader of the mob. Okay, racing after Alfie on her moped. Stop that boy, she shouted, but the boy kept running. Alfie ran and ran and ran. He was not naturally sporty. That means Alfie is not sporty. He's not a sporty boy, and had never run so fast in all his life. Disappointment sets in that this moment wouldn't somehow count in the Olympics. So Alfie is actually quite disappointed that the amount that he's running is not counted in the Olympics. Olympics are a very big international competition. Okay. Surely he was breaking a world sprint record, because Alfie thinks that he's breaking a world record for running so much. Glancing back, that means looking back, Alfie saw there were now hundreds of people chasing after him. It was one boy against an army, so one Alfie against the whole army of people chasing him. But he wasn't giving up yet. Ahead of him, he saw the huge iron gates that led out onto the main street. Surely the whole school won't follow me out there, thought Alfie. He was wrong. So the whole school is going to follow him and continue chasing Alfie.